Welcome to the Purchasing Requisition training. This training video will provide you with a general overview of the purchasing functions in Banner Finance. Let's get started by logging into Banner Finance. I need to place an order for an office supply, but before I enter my order, I'm going to do a quick check to confirm I have enough funds under my office supply budget. You learned how to access budget query reports in the previous training video, so we can skip ahead and pull up my budget query. I'm looking for my office supply section, so that's going to be funded by the General Unrestricted Fund under Fiscal Services Program. And as I head across here, I see under the available balance, I do indeed have enough funding available for my office supply order. So we'll go back, and now we're ready to enter into my requisitions. You are looking at the requisition landing page, which provides a recap of draft requests, pending requisitions, which are routing through the approval process, as well as completed requisitions. We will revisit this page once we have submitted our test requisition. Select Create Requisition in the upper right corner. Your name will appear as the requester as well as today's date. As the delivery date of your order is linked to accounts payable and used for paying the invoice, please enter tomorrow's date as a default. In the public comment box, enter details regarding the purchase, such as prepay, confirming order, fax or email, open order, and public works project along with the number. This message will appear on the purchase order, which is sent to the vendor. I want to email the purchase order to the vendor, so I'll enter that comment. Your home department chart of accounts number and organization or department come in as a default. Ship to location is always 1300 South College Drive. If you need to make arrangements for a large item to be delivered directly to the final destination, please contact the purchasing supervisor. For the attention line, enter the name of the person to receive the order and the building letter and room number for Santa Maria, or the building number and room number for Lompoc. I would like this order directed to Jessica Blazer in Building B, room 204. If at any time you are interrupted and need to come back to finish your purchase request, select Save as Draft in the upper right corner. Scroll down and select Next. Type the name of your vendor in the Choose Vendor box, or you can scroll through the list. I need to order a replacement lamp for our projector. Therefore, I'm going to look for vendor B&H Photo. You see, as I start to type that, it narrows down the list of options. There may in fact be more than one vendor option with the same name. You will need to confirm ahead of time the location in which to send your order. When the vendor you want appears, click on it. If you would like to email the purchase order to the vendor and their email does not auto-populate, enter their email address. Otherwise, you may leave this field blank. Do not use the discount field, but rather you will be prompted to enter it as an individual line item on the request. All payments are made in US dollars. Select Next. Now we're ready to type in the details of the first item we need to order. We have 50 character spaces to enter a thorough and accurate description. For my lamp, I will enter the description Panasonic replacement lamp, PN number PAETLAV300. Sometimes you'll find that you might want to just copy and paste your description from your reference into the Add Description box. If you need to add more descriptive notes and you're running out of room, you can continue the description in the public comment box, which will appear after we add this as a new item. I will use the public comment box to enter my quote, which is quote number 66070. Now we're ready to enter more details regarding our order. For unit of measure, select the drop-down menu. The most appropriate option for my order is each, And for quantity, I'm looking to order 1. For unit price, the cost is $226.30. The tax will default automatically to the current local tax rate, regardless of the amount assessed by the vendor. Accounts payable will update this as needed at the time of payment. Please disregard the discount amount and additional amount. If those apply to your order, you will want to enter that as an additional item on your request. Now we're ready to add accounting information. If you hadn't already done so, this would be a good time to check your budget query to confirm you have enough available funding at the correct FOAP combination. In addition, it's recommended that while you're still learning the chart of accounts, you may find it helpful to reference various chart of account reports and the crosswalk to verify the fund options, the account options, organization, and program codes. If you determine you do not have enough funds on any given FOAP combination, you can simply prepare a budget transfer and save this requisition as a draft until you are ready to proceed forward. As you select your FOAP combination, keep in mind each category will align with the budget from which you are paying for the purchase. So for this purchase, I will be using Chart 1, which is the district chart of accounts, and that's my default account, along with general unrestricted funds. For the organization, my default happens to correspond with my selection, so I don't need to make any changes. If I did, I would drop down my menu or type in the information. For the account, this is going to describe the type of expense. So I'm looking for office supplies, and as I type office, that narrows down the list and I select office supplies. For program, I'm going to look for fiscal services. And again, I can go back to my budget query and reference this information here as well. You can skip activity, location, and project as we are currently not utilizing those fields. You'll see in the next section here that there's a distribution amount and distribution percent. You have the option to split your order amongst different FOAP combinations. In this instance, I don't need to, but we will show you how to do this in more detail during the in-person training. Please save. We will also show you in the in-person training how to add attachments for your supporting documentation to your order. So we'll skip that, but note that the button to do attachments is located in the upper right corner. Next, we are ready to review the accuracy of our request. Please note, during the approval process, if there are any mistakes or errors, the requisition will be rejected and returned to the requester to make corrections. So we're going to select View as PDF in the bottom right corner. The first section, we see an overview of the requester information. Next, we see confirmation of the shipping details, followed by the requisition comment, where I see my note regarding that I'd like the purchase order emailed to the vendor. And then we come to the item description. So I can see that I'm going to order the Panasonic replacement lamp. And as I'm looking at this and comparing it against the quote from the vendor, I see that I did in fact enter the wrong amount for my unit price. So I will need to make an adjustment for that. Before we go, I want to look at the recap of the accounting information so I can verify the chart, the fund, the organization, the account number, and program number. And those do look correct. So I just need to go and make a quick change. I'll close this box and head back to my requisition. I'll click on the item that needs an adjustment, and I'm going to go in here and adjust the unit price to $228.30. I'll save my changes, come back in and view as a PDF one more time, and that did update the price. At this point, I can print this requisition for reference, or I can come back into my requisitions at any time and access this information. So I'm going to close the box, and now I'm ready to submit my requisition for approval. So now we come back to our requisition landing page that we saw when we first entered in here. And as I mentioned before, you've got the ability to look at what your pending items are, as well as completed requisitions. You can click on the I, that's for information, to see where your requisitions are going for approval next. Down here under completed requisitions, I see who in the purchasing area my order is sitting with. And I can also expand to see more information on my prior requests. So at this point, you are now ready to create a test requisition.